Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Yankees signed Marcus Stroman, which is a bit of a surprise to me. He certainly has a lot to say, and he's been very anti-Yankee as well over the last few years. I actually think he grew up a Yankee fan. He's from Long Island, and Marcus Stroman is a good pitcher. But before we get into that, Stroman signs a 2-year deal worth $37 million, so $18.5 million per season. And there is a vesting option. I think it becomes a player option if Stroman reaches 140 innings pitched in 2025. Then it becomes a 3-year, $55 million deal, through 2026. But for now, 2-year deal. So I don't love that it's a multi-year deal, first off, but it's not a bad, this isn't an exorbitant contract. So that's the one good thing here. Stroman is, I would call him an innings eater, even though he's dealt with injuries at times, but it's been fairly durable, I would say. With the Cubs, he had stretches where he pitched really well. He was with the Cubs the last 2 seasons, and he actually was an all-star last year, had a really, really good first half. And then tailed off and, really the second half of his season was basically all injury. Had a hip injury, then a rib. I think it was a fractured rib that somehow happened as well. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was somehow in relation to the hip in his rehab. But he really, he is someone that can limit. When I look at his numbers, I've never been blown away by him. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He simply isn't. He is a ground ball pitcher, which, the Yankees, they could use something like that because the Yankees are always into the strikeout guys, which makes sense. But he does give you a little bit of something different. His ERAs are always a lot lower than I think they should be when I look at all of his other numbers. His whip is high. Not horrible. In 21 with the Mets and 22 with the Cubs, both 1.15 whips, which is fine, but which is more than fine, I'd say. But last year, again, really took a bit of a nosedive, and he ended up with a 1.26 whip after, like I said, a really good start. He is familiar with the AL East. He was with the Blue Jays for a while, from 2014 to 2019 when he was traded to the Mets in the 2019 deadline. So that helps that he's, again, there's a little bit of a familiar feeling with the division. But in terms of his postseason history, not a whole lot to speak of. It was with the Blue Jays in 2015 and 2016. He had 5 starts within those 2 seasons, and numbers aren't horrible. I like the 2 starts in 2016 a little bit more than the 3 from 2015, but that's here nor there. So, on the field, fine. I am open to what he might bring, although even there I'm a little skeptical, but I think what might happen, the Yankees seem to be pretty tight when it comes to social media activity, right? Josh Donaldson was really big on social media. All of a sudden he comes to the Yankees and that was just done. So there had to have been a conversation of some extent like that, but not to say that even that would hold Marcus Stroman back. I mean, it's going to be the post-game press conferences, there's going to be controversy. And with Stroman, either he will be loved by Yankee fans because of the way he carries himself, or I think more likely by the end of it, despised. So that's really at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? It's really how you perform, forgetting about what type of person you are. It's just the fans want results. So if he's going to pitch well, they'll tolerate all the bullshit that comes with it. So, yeah, this is a controversial move. I don't know that it necessarily I don't think it prevents other moves. I don't really see Blake Snell. I don't see that happening. A Montgomery reunion would be pretty interesting, but even that one, my gut tells me no. And of course there's the trade market, which very well might happen. So Stroman in the rotation, it improve. I mean, look, it does improve it, but yeah, I don't love it. I don't love this one. I'm not a big fan of Marcus Stroman, but hey, maybe I'll become a believer. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but it's a 2-year deal at the very least. worth $37 million, Marcus Stroman, surprisingly, is a New York Yankee.